This is my SMP journey video from start to laser removal to finish. How it all went. So, finally getting around to recording this video. We are going to start with where it all began. So, I don't really remember how I found out about SMP, but it probably just popped up somewhere. I was looking for hair loss solutions. What had I already tried? I looked into a hair transplant, but I didn't like some of the side effects from taking the medication involved. So I was like, hell no. So I didn't even include that one. I did some low light laser therapy, which is that red light that you sit underneath, you read a magazine for 30 minutes and hair is supposed to start getting thicker and coming back. I got absolutely rinsed for that. I paid £2,000 for a 6-month course of that. And basically what they did was they sat me under that light for 30 minutes twice a week. I'd go into the city centre, go to the place, sit down, think that was doing something. What they also did was give me some minoxidil, which is like a topical solution to put on my head. That was giving me mad dandruff. It wasn't dandruff, it was the stuff that was just, it was the solution that was like solidifying on my head. And when I scratched my head because it was getting itchy, which it is supposed to do, is increasing your blood flow. I'd just get loads of bits everywhere. Absolutely terrible time. But what I will say is I got about 10 to 15% of my hairs start to come back. Now they weren't coming back, it was just the ones that were dying were slowly getting thicker. And I did all that and I thought obviously I can't pay another £2,000 for a 6-month course, it just wasn't right. So I bought some contraption off eBay and I was holding it above my head. I used to work from home on the laptop, so I'd be there on the laptop holding this thing above my head every day, thinking like, yeah, just hold it every day and it'll be blessed. Didn't do anything. I stopped putting the minoxidil on. 3 months after I stopped putting the minoxidil on my head, I guarantee it all went back to exactly how it would have been if I never even started to begin with. So it was worse than when it started. When you use minoxidil, you're on it for life. And that's just how it is. You're on it for life, because the minute you stop doing that, it will reverse and go back to exactly how it was if you never even bothered. 3 months. So that happened, and when that happened, I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? So I just accepted defeat and I shaved my head. I wasn't too bad with the bald look, you know. Like a lot of people were saying, you look better bald. I don't know what you're worried about. There was something bugging me. I knew I didn't look as good as I could look. There was something bugging me. I think it's because I have really light skin and then really dark hair. So I liked when I shaved my head and you couldn't really see anything. But the minute it started growing back, my hair grows so fast. The minute it starts growing back, you could see that like cloud around the edge where the hair is and where the hair isn't. And that makes you look old. From the back, bear in mind I was 26. From the back, you instantly think 46. So that's not a nice feeling. All the baldies shout me out, you know the feeling. As soon as you see yourself in that supermarket camera, you're like, who's that baldy? And you're like, oh shit, it's me. Horrible. So then you start shaving your head like a madman every day because you don't want that cloud to come back. That's where I was at. I found out about SMP somehow. It just started coming up. I think because I was looking at hair loss solutions, it started coming up. And it took me 2 years from when I shaved my head to actually get it done. Reason being, I just couldn't find anybody that looked like me that had SMP, and that's what I was hung up on because I wasn't sure if it was going to suit me. My logic was, if I find someone with the same head shape and the same complexion and they have the hairline that I want, then I'll get it done. But it took me 2 years and I wasn't searching hard. I was just, every now and again I was typing it in, but I was getting on with life. After 2 years, I found someone that looked similar to, I was like, he's got a similar head shape to me. His face was blurred, but I could see he had a little bit of a beard and his hairline looked good. So I was like, okay, I can get with this now. this is giving me like that spring in my step to go and look to book it. Now, I didn't really get much time to look into where I'm gonna go to book it in, because somebody that I knew had SMP done. They didn't say they had SMP done, but I knew them for having hair that was kind of going in the corners. And when I saw a picture of them with a shaved head, I knew straight away that that hairline could not be the same hair that we knew that person to have. So straight away I was just like, there's no way, because when I shaved my head, I was bunching it up in the corners and doing all of that stuff. And when you shave it, you damn near got the look of zero hair in the middle, never mind a crispy, nice hairline. So I was just like, nah, he's had SMP, no way. So I messaged him, I said, where did you get that done? Because I'm looking to get mine done. He told me. So because I knew someone that had it done, and I seen it in the pictures and it looked good, I was like, I'm just gonna go there. So that's what I did. And I had my first SMP. Getting my original SMP done for the first time. Now, this was a great experience because you're so excited, booked it in, and you're just hoping that it's gonna look amazing. You've seen all these pictures, everyone's so nice, and you're just like, yes, this is gonna be flawless, this is gonna be amazing, this is gonna be the thing that I needed. So I get there, sit in the chair, I start recording. They're doing my hairline shape, they're mapping it out. I'm pointing the finger, telling them I'm being really particular. I want this, I want that, I want it to be like box, really sharp, really defined. I didn't know anything then. I wasn't an SMP artist. I was a client. Clients think they know everything. I want it like this, I want it like that. I've done my research, looking on Google for hours and just looking at people. I don't know anything, but I thought I knew exactly what I wanted. So everyone there wasn't really giving me any pushback. They were just kind of like, okay, we'll do exactly what you want. You tell us. So we spent 45 minutes just on the hairline, mapping it all out. Me taking the pictures, getting them to take pictures of it, looking at it from different angles, going crazy with it. I was bold, but I wanted to walk out of there looking like Drake in like 2012, when he just had that low haircut with a straight hairline, boxed up. I envisioned myself looking something like that when I walked out, or at least after my 3 sessions. So they got to it, first session underway. It's a little bit spicy, but not that bad, pain-wise. Other than like having children, some of my clients say, other than having kids, there's no better feeling than this. So that's what I would say. As a man, there's not really much stuff. Like as a bald man, once you go through that hair loss period, getting SMP, there's like nothing in life that you can really do that picks you up as much as that, when you feel like there's nowhere to turn and nothing to do for that crap thing that's happened to you. So you walk out there feeling 10-10. I'm walking out, I'm recording myself, I'm jumping in my car, I'm like, looking in my little rear view mirror at it. I'm doing some videos, feeling myself, yeah. Had my 3 sessions and I was none the wiser that this could get any better. This was the best thing I've done. So I was enjoying it, man. So that was how everything went for my first SMP experience. Realizing my SMP just wasn't the best. So fast forward to me doing training, getting involved with SMP, starting up my company, starting up my studio, doing a load of clients, and we're about 3 years in, and I'm getting clients coming back to me for a top up. And when they're coming in, I'm looking at their head, I'm analyzing it, and I'm thinking, this looks very detailed. When I look at my own head, I'm not seeing the same level of detail, even though I'm giving them a top up. So this isn't even like the height of the detail. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm the face of my SMP company and I'm not sure about my own SMP here. So I'm just starting to think. Bear in mind, when you start SMP, depending on your training, people are at different levels. So I wasn't really sure what to do about it. I just knew that my SMP wasn't the best. I was hiding my head for consultations. People were coming in and I'd be wearing a beanie hat. So let's have a look at your head, blah, 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 giving them the information. And I was trying my best not to get them to look at my head up close, because I knew if they looked at that, they'd probably be second guessing and thinking, well, there doesn't look like much hair follicles there. It kind of just looks painted on. I was just thinking to myself, okay, I need to do something about this. I can't keep hiding my head. What do I do? What are the options? So now I'm in a different area. I'm an SMP artist and I know about SMP. I've got experience, but how do I correct it? And it's my own head. What do I do? So the two options are going over it again with darker ink and getting another SMP artist to do that for me, or getting laser tattoo removal on my head and just removing it and then starting again with another artist that shares my ethics and I believe can make it look better. Because as I got into SMP, I started to figure out the reasons why this had happened. Too much pressure, too slow in the skin, and it causing it to migrate beneath the skin. And everything looks great on the day. When that top layer of SMP starts to go away after a couple of months, your immune system starts removing it. You're left with, what's left underneath. And if that's not super crisp and done methodically and correctly, and it's been rushed, it will migrate under the skin and start to touch each other. So the dots aren't dots anymore. It just starts to look like a pool of ink. Now, from 2 arms lengths away, it looked fine. I'm not gonna say it looked horrible, and it's like some of those ones that I post on my page when they come in and they've been completely ruined, right? It wasn't that at all. And most people that get this kind of SMP done, they're very happy with it. I was happy with it for the first 2 or 3 years until I started to piece the pieces together. But that's only because I was an SMP artist and my clients were coming back and it was looking better. So I was like, okay, something's wrong with mine. So I was thinking about getting somebody to go over all of it with a darker tone. Yeah, that'll fix it. That'll make it that stand out above my sort of blown out SMP, and it'll look good again, and it'll look more detailed, and it'll look a lot darker, and it'll look more like what I wanted, which was to look like Drake, like I said in the last part. So realizing that when you're completely bald and there's no supporting hair to go with it, you can't look like somebody who's got a short haircut. You have to look bald and you've just got hair, if that makes sense. You can't make it look like a haircut. You can try your hardest, but when you go out of this perfect studio lighting, it doesn't look the same in all lightings. And I want my clients to look as good as they can be and look as natural and realistic as can be. And I don't want people to know that they've had SMP. I want people to just assume that they've shaved their head. Making it look like a haircut on a completely shiny dome because it's got no hair. You can put all the mattifiers on that you want. It's still not going to look right if your hairline is completely sharp. It doesn't work. I had that experience at the time, and that's what made me start to change my mind and realize that if there's no supporting hair to blend in with the SMP, it has to look like a shaved head and not like a haircut and boxed off. I removed that idea from my head of making it darker and going over it and all that stuff. That didn't line up with my sort of ethics with SMP, and I decided to get it lasered. This one was painful, I'm not even gonna lie. I now am a laser tech. I can remove your SMP or any tattoo, but I'm not gonna lie and say that that is pain-free. We all know that laser tattoo removal is painful. On your scalp, it is painful. Of course it is. You can use numbing cream, which I did, but numbing cream doesn't always numb it evenly. So you get some spots that are like pretty much pain-free if you hit it at the right time. And then you get other spots what's very painful. So as it's going across, you're like, oh, it's not too bad, it's bearable. And then it's just, ah, shit. it starts being painful. So what happened with me, I started the session and bits were okay, but as time went on, it started to wear off. And bear in mind, it was only like 20 minutes, but I couldn't complete it. I thought to myself, if I just do the hairline across the front and down the side, remove that as much as possible and just hope for the best, that one session, because mine wasn't too saturated, it wasn't too bad at all, but it needed removing. So I just thought, if I could just get through one session on the hairline, happy days, and then I can redo it. The hairline's the main bit, and whatever happens with the rest happens. So I did the hairline, did this bit, and I'm going to see it through as much as I can. As we started going back, I just started getting tired, and after about 15-20 minutes we were starting to go back into this bit, and I just said, nah, leave it. Too painful. So I tried to get my SMP done just having one session. You know what, it removed quite a lot of it because the SMP wasn't too deep and dense, and it wasn't like 20 years old. So that one session did remove quite a lot of it, at least on the hairline. I went to an SMP artist and they were like, can you do another session? And I was just like, oh, I really was dreading it. I didn't want to do another session because of the pain, and it's expensive. So what do? I thought to myself, and I was like, you know what, okay, I'll do another session. So I've done another session, and that time it wasn't as painful because most of the SMP around the front, the painful parts, was a lot lighter or completely gone. So going over those bits again wasn't too bad at all. Coming to the back bit, it wasn't too bad. I think because it was going a lot quicker. It does get easier the lighter the shade of ink in your skin gets. So bear that in mind if you're going to do laser. It does get less painful after like the first session. I did that, and I'd say we removed about 85% of the old SMP. It's not for the faint-hearted, but it's definitely worth doing. Redoing my SMP after laser tattoo removal. Finally, I'm about to find out if going through all of that pain, time going backwards on my okay SMP to get great SMP, is it going to be worth it? So I get my first session done. Seems good. Second session, third session, even had a fourth session, and I can say that now when I look at my SMP, it's as good as it gets. When it's done correctly, it looks great, even up close. And this is what was happening with my clients. I was looking up close and theirs was looking better than mine. So I knew I had to do something about it. Going through all that laser and getting it redone and seeing my results now, I'm super happy, and I'm so glad that I didn't try to do the shortcut of just blasting over it with darker ink and making it 20% better, because in the long run, it doesn't look that much better. To the untrained eye, they're probably gonna know that I've had a hair tattoo. That's the whole point of getting SMP, the opposite of what I want. So I want people to think that it's real hair, and then when I tell them it's a tattoo, they can be like, whoa, no way, that looks so realistic. That is literally the point of SMP. So that's what I wanted, and I feel like I've achieved that. I found somebody who shares my ethics with their approach to SMP, and yeah, it paid off just like I thought. So if you're looking to remove your SMP or do something with your SMP, you're not quite sure, this is your message, not to go the shortcut and cheaper option of, yeah, I'll just go and have another session with an artist who's willing to just blast over it, and they're going to tell you, yeah, I can fix that for you, I can correct that for you. You're not correcting it. I'll tell you like this, you know, people that have like a blackout sleeve or something like that, their whole arm or their forearm is just completely black. Imagine you go onto that forearm that's completely black, they had it done like a year or two ago, and you want to put more black ink to try and go over it, you're gonna see something to what you've done on that day. Let's say you do a portrait of somebody over the black base. You're gonna see when the ink's fresh, but when the top layer of ink gets flushed away by the immune system, you're left with that slightly like that mid layer of skin which retains the ink. When that top layer's gone, the detail's gonna go and it's gonna sink into that pool of ink, and you're not gonna see shit. It's not gonna be very detailed, and you're basically gonna be left with pretty much what you had before. And if you're talking about SMP, maybe your hairline will be slightly better, but they've also got to go darker than what they should be going to make up for it. So you've then got the chance of it turning a little bit bluey green, which obviously isn't going to look like hair. So you're going to make it 20% better, but in the long run, you're not going to get that silky smooth look of SMP where it's like you've shaved your head and there's no one that's going to go, that's SMP, unless you tell them. So please, I urge you, just get it removed and start again. If you want to have that conversation, or you want me to have a look at your SMP and see if we can remove it, give you some advice, come in, we can remove it, we can redo it to that standard where you're not going to tell that it's SMP. We're going to do it correctly to your skin tone, matching in with your existing hair follicles, blending in just nicely. And up close, people are going to look at your head and they're going to still have a hard time deciphering if you're even lying about having a hair tattoo, or if it is in fact real hair that's about to grow that you just shaved. So I'm super happy with going through all of that, and I'd do it again. Basically, if I had to go back, and I'd definitely do it again, because the result after, when you look up close, second to none. So that's my story, man. Hope it helps you. If you've got any questions, reach out to me.